this is what the weather team at Fox 29, meteorologists, people who study this, are saying we might be able to expect this weekend. Keith in TOC says he doesn't think it's going to happen. Okay? Now, I told Keith to quit looking at his phone and quit being a doubter, but he is a Buffalo Bills fan, so he doesn't really know how to be successful in predicting anything. So that's why I'm going to bring in Drew Anderson. Again, I've told the people to not look at their phones unless they're looking at Fox Local and they're listening to you. And I'll just so everyone knows, because I basically stalk the weather people. Earlier this week, one model had a 0, one model had 18, and then the models are now friendly and they're going to come together and it's going to be fine. So for Keith, where do you live? Like Plymouth Meeting?
Sure.
Okay. What's Keith going to get in Plymouth Meeting?
All right, so let's get Keith about 10 inches of snow in Plymouth Meeting. So
Keith,
can I just jump in on what you were saying? For about the last day and a half, it's been pretty consistent with these model runs of 8 to 12 inches in the Philly area. A little bit less as you head down the shore because there's going to be some rain at the tail end of the storm. And that's something we look for in the Weather Center. We want to see consistency in these model runs. They come out about 2 times a day, and we're starting to see that. And now, this afternoon, here's what's happening. We're starting to get the good stuff. The high-definition models are starting to come in. Then you mentioned this earlier at the top of Philadelphia Live at the start of the noon hour, that the storm will come on land and develop in Texas tomorrow. Once the models get a hold of some real data and they can run the storm through, that's when we have pretty much big confidence in the track of the storm. But in the meantime, right now, things are looking like 8 to 12 for Philadelphia.
So my next question, and by the way, you'll forgive me, there's Friday energy in here. Keith, be quiet. Okay, so here is my next question. Sit down.
So wait a minute, Jen, are you saying you have a long weekend? Is that what you're trying to say? This is your Friday?
Happy Friday to me. But wait, hold, we're doing weather. Be cool. It's a serious weather forecast we have to worry about. Here's what I want to know about, because I will be home. You talked about the fluffy, and you say because it's going to be cold this weekend, we're going to get the kind of snow that is fun to sled in, that's easy to shovel. But then you talked about some kind of nonsense of sleet and like yucky stuff on top, but no wind, right? Because one of the things to be serious, the power is what we really want. We need the power to stay on. We know that in a blizzard condition or with wind, that's an issue. But even though there's going to be different types of precipitation, you think the power will still be okay?
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm checking right now, just looking at the models, and we just had some new model runs come out. I'm checking the wind, and I got to tell you, it will be a little windy when we get this storm. Wind will be an issue. We get more concerned, and this jumps into what you were just mentioning, is when the snow is wet and heavy. And I'll tell you why. Check a look at my evergreen trees. You see the Pico power lines right back there in Westchester. So when you have heavy, wet snow, it lays on these big trees, and then that lays on the power lines, and that causes a concern. And then the winds help to kind of push them down and bring down some of the tree limbs when you have the wet, heavy snow. Here's what helps us out on that. So for the first part of the storm, for about the first half of Sunday, and this is a Sunday day event. So the storm moves in a little bit before sunrise, sticks around all day Sunday, and it wraps up after sunset on Sunday before Monday morning. So the snow, light, fluffy, easy to shovel. You just blow it, you know, the kind of stuff we like when I could go sledding back there. But the second half of the storm, from about 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, things change. The snow gets wet and heavy, this stuff we don't want. And the reason for that is the storm will end Sunday evening as sleet in Philadelphia and as rain in South Jersey and in Delaware. So that's good for South Jersey and Delaware. And that's going to limit snow totals a little bit there. But some parts of our area with that heavy, wet snow, and as the winds crank up Sunday afternoon, power outages will become an issue in some spots. So that's something we're monitoring as we head into the weekend storm.
Okay, I hope that, I know that you guys know what you're doing, but I hope that we don't get any power issues. Drew, I know you're going to be here all weekend. We appreciate your help, your guidance. All joking aside, we're happy that you guys really keep us safe.